This is the Makita 18-inch LXT brushless 14-inch chainsaw. For those of you familiar with my channel, saw the video I did on this chainsaw a couple of years ago. This is Makita's 18-volt 10-inch chainsaw. If you want to find out more about this, the video will be posted down below in the description. Why don't we unbox this thing so I can get to cutting. This chainsaw is supposed to weigh up to 18% less, coming in at only 9.3 pounds. It has a toolless tensioner. I'm excited to check that out. This is the kit XCU11SM1, which means it comes with a chainsaw, a 4 amp hour battery, and a charger. What I like about this one is it's a 14-inch, whereas my previous was only a 10. Great chainsaw, love it, but there are some things you just need a few more inches on. So let's open this up so I can get to cutting. And I will tell you that I have already opened this up so I can charge the battery. Makita's 4 amp hour 18-volt battery, charged, ready to go. I don't think you can see that because it's too sunny out. Here's the charger. It's just a standard charger. I'm probably going to get rid of this because I have plenty of them. You got your nice Makita bar cover, amazing Makita paper bag, and look at that beautiful 14-inch bar. Oregon chain, and last but not least, the saw. Oh yeah, and it also comes with a manual, and I would recommend reading this because it's actually pretty helpful. It's got some cutting tips, some chain sharpening tips, and some sprocket and bar cleaning tips, along with the troubleshooting section in the end. What's really nice about this chainsaw, you only have to do 3 things, and this thing is ready to cut. First thing you want to do is you got to put the bar and chain on. You're going to put the bar and chain on, which we'll go over in a second. After you do that, you got a place to add bar oil. Fill this up. Last thing, put the battery on, you're ready to cut. Something I'm really excited about is the fact that to adjust the chain, it's all toolless. All you have to do is push up on this right here, lifts this up, spin it off, your whole piece comes off. Open up our chain here. It's amazing how these always seem to get tangled. 47 hours later, we've got our chain on, the bar. One nice thing about putting this chain on, you look right here, you can see they've got a picture of which way the chain goes on in the direction. That way you don't have to worry about putting it on backwards. I'll also note that on the cover here, right here is your chain adjustment. And you can see how it works right here. So you're going to want to make sure you keep this clean. Otherwise, I'm guessing you're going to have issues down the road if this gets all full of sawdust and whatnot. So now you just put the chain on, grab your cover, put it on, snug it up just by turning clockwise. Once you do that, you'll take and you'll adjust your chain right here. So as you can see, twist away from the bar, chain loosens up, twist towards the bar, chain will tighten. So adjust accordingly. Snug it up, push the lever back in, and you're set. Flip the saw around. Right here is where you add your bar oil. Now the manual states that this takes 5.1 ounces. I don't really know if that matters to anyone. It does not matter to me. But for all of you who are not going to read the manual, not that any of us care, but now you know, 5.1. Put your bar oil in. Make sure you screw your cap back on. This saw will automatically lubricate the chain when it is being operated. This saw does come with a bar lock, so you can, if you can see this right here, you've got lock and unlock. Right now we're locked. Now we're unlocked. Grab your battery. Stick it on, your saw is ready to go. When the chain is in the locked position, you will not be able to turn the saw on. Pull the chain back in the unlocked position, which it also tells you on the top of the saw, locked and unlocked. Unable to turn the saw on without pushing in the safety button, push that button in. Fires up. You'll notice it's got a pretty decent brake on it. Alright, so upon further investigation, the 10-inch actually takes longer to shut off than the 14. So that's an updated feature. I'm not sure how easy it is for you to tell from the camera, but this one, as I just ran both of them side by side, is a lot quieter than the 10-inch. So that's a plus. There's one thing I can tell you right now I'm disappointed this saw has, or doesn't have, and it's the lack of the dogs. I don't know if you want to call these plastic things here dogs. I don't. You notice right here, Makita's 10-inch saw had dogs, and I liked it a lot. That might be the price difference, because if I remember correctly, and I like to think that I do, the kit for the 14-inch on Home Depot's website was $250. I think this saw tool only is $179. I hope that's not saying something about the quality on this one versus the 10-inch. I would recommend you wearing the proper safety equipment before you operate a chainsaw. I'm going to show you how this saw cuts here. In no means is this an operation for anybody to follow on how to cut firewood. So let's test this saw out now. As you can see, this is pine. It's very soft, but this appears to be cutting through it very nicely. So for the purposes of this test, I got a harder wood here. It's 5 inches round. We'll see how fast this cuts. So I think my chain needs to be tightened. Always remove the battery when you do that. Alright, so the chain brake works awesome. Right as it should. As you can see, this is everything we cut up. I don't think it took me more than 10 minutes. Cut a wide variety of sizes up. The largest size looks like it was 9 inches. Not bad. All the way down to stuff that was 2 inches. I know the next question is going to be how much battery's left. 1 bar left on the 4 amp hour battery. That would be why I typically run on the 10-inch. I only run a 5 amp hour, and I'll only run a 5 amp hour on this saw going forward. But because this was the review and the 4 amp hour is what came with it, I wanted to make sure that we ran that, because otherwise people might ask me, well, what does it get with the battery that comes with the saw? So now you know. I think this was 10 minutes of cutting, not really sure. So from what I cut, going with a 4 amp hour battery, I'm not impressed on the battery life. I'll have to see later how the 5 holds up. Again, this was a soft wood. If it was a hard wood, this battery, you know what I'm saying, probably half the time. This saw does have an overheat feature, so if the saw starts to overheat, the saw will shut off, and it won't turn back on until it deems that it's safe enough to turn back on so it doesn't cause any damage. Overall, first impressions, I like the saw. Works good for what I need. My entire yard is nothing but pine trees, so this saw is going to work fantastic for what I do here. For the bigger stuff, if this saw doesn't handle it, I have a gas chainsaw. I have a 50-inch Husqvarna, and that's what I will continue to use if this saw can't fit the bill. Let me know if any of you have this saw, want this saw, like this saw in the comment section below. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to the channel, hit the thumbs up, and until next time.